I want to give a quick thank you to WD-40 for sponsoring this video.
You know what I really need is a grapple bucket. I got spoiled with Travis's, but having only one over at the farm, constantly have to move it back and forth, but it'd be really nice to have one of my own.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Today we are in my truck and we are headed north on 151 to Dodgeville, Wisconsin. So yesterday I got a little ahead of myself and I watched the online version of the auction while we were working, and two things caught my eye on that auction. As many of you know, we've been handling a lot of trees lately, especially with all the storm damage. There's been a lot of trees on the fence, so I've been having to use pallet forks whenever I don't have the Travis's Vernick rock grapple bucket. So what I've been doing is just moving it back and forth between the farm and my place. Well, if they need it over there, that means that I can't be using it in my place, so it's just very tedious moving it back and forth, and I have to be very careful when I'm using it. So I got on to this online auction, and a I should call it a brush grapple bucket caught my eye, and I watched it. I was willing to pay up to like $1,600 for it. Those buckets, brand new, are worth like upwards over $2,000. And I won it on the auction for, what did I pay for that? I paid $1,000 for it, and with the buyer's premium, it was like $1,050 that I paid for it. So I think I got a pretty good deal out of the bucket. I also bought one more thing while I was there, while I was watching, and that was later on in the day, but I'll wait until we're there for you guys to figure out what that one is. Since I bought it on an online auction, I really don't like doing that too much because I don't like buying it sight unseen without seeing it first. And you know, some of the pictures that they put on there are kind of, let's just say the one of the grapple bucket didn't show the whole bucket. So I was joking with Dad saying, yeah, it showed like the one grapple, so the other half of the bucket's probably completely missing. But I was in the area last night anyway, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I came this far, I'm just gonna go up there and have a look in person. And I had my car, so I couldn't pick it up then. And the rock bucket, to me, looks brand new. I just got a quick look at it because the cops were patrolling the place.
In 2 miles, take exit 44 for Wisconsin 23 North toward Dodgeville.
So the other thing that I bought, I noticed that I didn't see in the pictures, actually has a leak on it. Or at least it looks like the hoses on it are leaking, which isn't a big deal, but I think it's gonna come in real handy too. So I have the bumper hitch trailer on the back. We're about to pull off into Dodgeville. I'm gonna swing into Hennessy's, pay for them, and we'll be on our way. I'm actually going to Hannah's because tomorrow we have a wedding that we're attending. So I'm gonna take it there for the weekend, and then I'm gonna take it home and drop it off. I'm just gonna park the truck here while I go in and talk to him and pay. I watched most of this stuff sell yesterday. The first thing, I'm gonna grab the grapple, which is down here somewhere. I think it's in the next row actually. I was watching an aluminum trailer go on the sale. However, it went for more than I was willing to pay for it, because our trailer's kind of getting to the point where it needs to be replaced too. But instead I bought these two things, which all works out in the end, I guess. Thought it was right here, unless someone moved it on me. Have I been bamboozled? I just passed the other thing I bought, but I'm gonna load that second. Make you guys wait in suspense. But really though, where did my grapple bucket go? I think those guys are doing the same thing. Moderate concern. So here's the grapple bucket that I bought. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. I think it's a good deal for $1,000. I'm gonna have to get the adapters on here. But that very much looks like a new Grapple Bucket to me. Or at least repainted a little bit. Again, not a big deal for me. I think $1,000 is a pretty good price for even a used Grapple Bucket. Looks like it's got some scuffing there. Now this is supposed to be branded Dirty Dog. I want to say it's branded Dirt Dog, or at least that's what it said on the auction article. It's an 80-inch bucket, so hopefully it's wide enough for the JCB. I know it's going to be wide enough for the JCB, but this will come in real handy to manipulate trees with and pull out brush. Just be handy to have on the farm, because trying to use my pallets this morning, or earlier today, I actually messed up my pallets and bent them a little bit because we had a huge tree that we were trying to get off the fence, and if I had a Grapple Bucket, I probably could have cleaned it up twice as fast, easily. So I don't know, I think I'm pretty happy with this purchase. The other thing that I bought isn't new, but I think I got a pretty decent deal out of that too. So we're gonna flag someone down, have them come over here and load us up. It's a pretty nice used L225. There you go. Yep. Put this on the back. Here he comes with it. Now looking at closer at this grapple, I don't know if this is just an older bucket that someone repainted. It doesn't look used, but I think it'll do the job that I need it to, so I'm happy. Okay, good. Back a little bit if you can. Good. Drop it down. Looks like this unit's as wide as the trailer itself. Just a little bit more narrow than it is long. So this is the other thing that I bought. It's a brush mower for the JCB. So this unit has a 17 to 27 gallon per minute flow motor on it, I think. And looking at it, I wasn't sure if I could hook it up to the JCB or not, but I'm pretty sure, more than pretty sure, the JCB has all the hookups that I need, because this actually has 3 hoses on it, if you look at it. So I believe this is where it flows into the unit. This is where it goes back to the machine. And then this little thing here, what that serves to do is to eliminate any of the pressure that's inside the motor and send it back inside the JCB to eliminate any excess pressure inside the motor, basically to keep from blowing a seal or anything out of it. So this is quite the unit. Looks a lot bigger in person. With this, I'm hoping that it's wide enough, since it's 84 inches, it's wide enough to just pretty much put it down with the JCB and drive forward. The big thing is just hooking it up to the JCB and making sure that the hoses are working right. But I gotta have a closer look to see where that oil is coming from. It might just be coming out of this hose here. 1, 2, 3 blades that I see. That one, blades are short and stubby, but I have confidence in it. We'll take her home and see what we can do with it. There we go. Just got them all strapped down. we're gonna hop in the truck. They're about to close up, so perfect timing. I'm gonna take off for Hannah's place, haul it there. Once we get there, I'm probably gonna take a closer look at everything. Have a little bit more time to just kind of peek around at what might need to be fixed. There were some other grapple buckets on the auction that went for like 600 bucks. But you can just tell them by looking at them. I think they're called the Euro style. And to me, they look a whole lot lighter. I don't really think they're meant for the kind of stuff that I plan on using the grapple bucket for. Like pulling brush and trees and everything. That one could be tightened. Put those front two on backwards technically, but we usually try to put the ratchets on the side that are not facing oncoming traffic. The general rule, actually the rule, whenever strapping anything down, is that you need to have 2 points of contact for the ratchets. So you need to have 2 ratchets on any object, or 1 strap every 4 feet. Or if you're hauling something that's 16 feet long, you just got to space them out by 4 feet. So you'll need 4 straps for something that's 16 feet long. So got 4 straps there. That one's a little inadequate, but it is what it is. Oddly enough, that's the tightest out of all of them. Probably because it didn't have nearly as much force pulling on it, but it is what it is. Still counts. So we're good. I'm gonna keep on rolling.
You've arrived.
So looking at these a little bit closer, I noticed that with the motor here, there's only 4 bolts that's holding the shield on. So we get back home, I'll take that off, have a look underneath. It does look like it's leaking in there somewhere, unless they had the hoses stuck in there and it was leaking. But I want to pull that off, clean all that debris out of there, and have a closer look to see what we got. So there's a smaller hose right here. This is the case drain that drains the motor, because if there's any kind of leaking or anything in there, any excess pressure, instead of blowing out the side of the motor, it'll return it back to the machine. And the JCB, I'm pretty sure, like 98% sure now, that it does have a case drain on it, because I see there's another hose that's small like this. It looks like I'm gonna have to get an adapter for it to make it work, but I think that's where most of our liquid out here is coming from. So it looks like I'm just kind of hoping that whoever had this before me went to sell it, because they aren't using it anymore. That's kind of my game plan with this thing. Use it as much as I can, and you know, if I don't need it anymore, I can spin around and sell it. Part of my game plan and my reasoning for buying this thing in particular is because since I'm renting the pasture out at my place, I really benefit from getting as much grass, as much feed value off those pastures as possible. So by clearing them out, taking down those smaller trees that are growing up, hopefully get more sunlight in there, grow some grass, and increase the amount of feed out there for my cattle, because we have a lot of woods. And as far as that thing goes, it doesn't look to be built as heavy as the Vernig rock bucket that Travis bought. This is a brush grapple, so made for pulling brush and stuff. I was having a closer look at it, and I don't know, on the online article it said Dirty Dog brand, but it kind of looks like a unit that someone built themselves and went to sell. Now looking at these 2 brackets right there, on this side they're actually angled out a little bit, so I'm not totally sure if they're meant to be like that, or what. Maybe someone like me built it, didn't have straight eyes. But overall, I'm still pretty happy with this thing. I wasn't planning on bringing home something that was twice as expensive as the grapple bucket that I originally wanted, but I think that thing's going to be pretty sweet. Dad and I went to an auction, some old guy's auction. He's just having like a retirement thing, and that's where we got this bumper hitch trailer. And I think Dad made pretty well with this. I want to say he paid around $3,200 for it, and he had a brush cutter just like this. Actually, not even just like this. It didn't look as nice as this one. And it looked like it wasn't built nearly as heavy. And that one sold for like $2,600. I got this. I was originally just planning on putting like $2,000 down on it. I put down $1,600 at first. I saw I got outbid, so I raised it. I'm like, I'll pay as much as the other one went for, because it looks at least as nice as the one that was on the other auction that we went to. So I moved it up to $2,500 and I got it. So I was kind of surprised with this thing, because I was expecting to pay like $1,600 for it. At the bottom, it looks like this middle brace here is a piece of angle iron. When I look down at the bucket itself, the ones in the middle here are straight up and down. And as you start to go out, they're pitched inward. And I don't know if they're supposed to be like that. Again, it's one of those things about this bucket that looks a little off, but just something that I noticed. Not a huge deal for me, not a deal breaker. So anyway, I'm gonna call that quits for now until we get it home, have a closer look, unload it, and we need to get some adapters before we can run either of these. They're both missing stuff. I want to wrap up these to protect them, because I noticed on Travis's bucket, these get tore up pretty easily. As I mentioned before, it was wet underneath the motor inside the shield, so I wanted to take the shield off and have a look on the inside to see what it looked like. I just got that off. I found out that I could not get the shield off without taking the hoses off there, which was really easy because there's pretty much access all the way around it. Those came off pretty easily, and now I'm looking at the motor here. I cleaned out all the junk as best I could anyway that was around it. What I want to do is clean this up and spray it down, and then just kind of have a closer look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if someone took that off and then it leaked down into the bottom of it, but for how much oil there is still sitting here, I was looking at that case drain line, and that's pretty much clean as a whistle. So don't know what to do there, where it's leaking from yet. Honestly, I wouldn't be real surprised if there was a seal or something out of this motor, but we need to get the adapters all hooked up before we can even see what it's doing. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got this WD-40 Specialist cleaner and degreaser here. I am going to spray the motor down, wash it off with water, get it nice and cleaned up, and hopefully it doesn't come to us having to take that motor off to have a closer look on the inside. If it's leaking a little bit, which I could really see happening, I don't really think I'd do too much to it, but if it's a pretty serious leak, then obviously we need to do something about it. But first things first, cleaning it off. So I was told that this cleaner and degreaser works pretty good for hydraulic oil too. So spray everything down here, come out with the hose, spray it all off. Huh, this stuff works pretty good. Now this is probably where I'm going to end the video, because by the time I get those adapters, I have the time to. I'm got a pretty busy week here. I'll let you guys know the next video where I can actually fire this thing up. I'll let you know if there's any flukes or anything like that that goes on with it. But we've got an Omni Gear motor here, and I'd say that motor is probably a brand new one of those. Probably costs more than what I paid for the entire thing. So I hope that's good, or at least fixable if there is any kind of leak. I can't see anything yet. That's why I want to get those adapters and hook it up to the JCB and see what I think. So that's pretty much it for this video. I can't wait to try out my new toys and put them to work. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully that'll come in real handy, especially out in the Klein pasture, trying to smooth everything out and get into those nooks and crannies that we can't with our tractors. Right, Stella? Yeah, you're a good puppy, aren't you? So anyway, that's it for this vid. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.